What is going on, everyone? This is Ryan with Automatic Comics, and up next we are going to be going over the comics that I sold this week. Some cool stuff again this week, quite a few books, 13 different books, 4 raw and 9 slabs, going all the way from pretty early Golden Age up to super modern. So let's check these out. So before we get started, please remember to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content like this. So like I've been doing the last number of weeks, I've been going over the comics that I have sold in the last week. And this is a mix of raw and graded. Like I said in the intro, we got 13 total books. There was over $8,000 in sales this week. So pretty big sales week, some cool books, some big books. Let's check these out. Now, we're gonna start the biggest sale of all. So I put a few books up for auction this week just to put some books through that I had listed for a little bit. And this one, Darth Vader, number 25 from 2019. This is the Delato, I believe 1 in 25 variant, something like that. And this one sold for 30 cents. So now there was $6.50 shipping, so technically it sold for $6.80. But man, like during the comic boom, a 9.8 of this book was like $350 or something. So definitely part of the risk of incentive variants. If you're, a ratio variance, if you're buying them like right when they come out, you can pay a huge premium. But if you wait a few years, you can get it generally a lot cheaper. Now, sometimes you don't want to wait that few years, so you buy it at that moment. But yeah, 30 cents plus, plus $6.50, so $6.80. All right. Next one we've got here is Captain Marvel Jr. number 90. Now, this is one of the books that I picked up along with Brian Big B McFly, the comic guy, from that Golden Age collection. This one sold for $60. So Captain Marvel Jr. number 90, $60. Then this next one here was also from that Golden Age collection. This is Batman number 109. Kind of some cool Bat Glider cover there. And this one was $50. So $50 also from that Golden Age collection. Now the last raw here, this is actually a pretty big Golden Age key. This is Wilbur Comics number 5. Now this is very similar to Archie. It's actually under the same publisher. It's under MLJ here. And a lot of the stories are very similar to the Archie stories. It's just told under the character of Wilbur. But this is actually the first appearance of Katie Keene, who has very long-running titles, still a character today. So Wilbur number 5, first appearance of Katie Keene. This one sold for $315. All right, now moving on to the graded books here. So the first one here, pretty big Silver Age key. This is actually the first time I had ever owned this book. I had never had a copy before. This is Journey into Mystery number 84. This is the first appearance of Jane Foster. It is the second appearance of Thor. This is a 3/5 off-white pages, solid presenting copy of this book, nice colors and everything. This one sold for $575. So Journey into Mystery number 84. Those second appearances, they're so much more affordable than the first appearances. Oftentimes I find it's about 10 times less for the second appearance. Now granted, there is a first appearance in there too, but Jane Foster is obviously secondary to Thor in the importance of characters. All right, now I mentioned I had a couple books I'd put up for auction. This was one of the books that I put up for auction. This is Jughead Annual number 1, and this is a 4.0. I was looking at this one. I don't know, it might have a shot to, this is an older label. It might have a shot to get bumped to a higher grade. It's a solid presenting copy. It's a square bound. I don't think there was really any splitting or anything. Maybe just like a little bit at the top. But solid presenting copy, Jughead Annual number 1. A number 1 from the Golden Age. This is 1953, and this one went for $150.50. So when I've got auctions, you go check them out, and sometimes you can pick up some cool Golden Age books like this, Jughead Annual number 1. All right, and then the other book that I had up for auction is the next one here. And this is Nellie the Nurse, number 22. This is a timely title, which, you know, ultimately became Atlas and then Marvel. So Nellie the Nurse, number 22, in a 2.5. This one was also one of those auctions. This was $110.50. These, I mean, they're like the good girl art covers. There's always some like comedy joke on the cover. But yeah, Nellie the Nurse, number 22, 2.5, $110.50. I mean, I think for $110 to get kind of like a fun good girl art cover from Timely seems like a pretty good deal. Good deal to pick that one up on an auction. All right, this next one. This is a really cool book. I actually bought this one raw and got it graded. Now this is one that, yeah, the seller definitely overestimated the grade on this one, but hey, whatever. This is a really cool cover. This is a Steve Ditko cover, but it has a feel like Wally Wood. That's one of the things I always think is really cool about this cover. It's got this Wally Wood feel, but it's a Steve Ditko cover. This is Space Adventures number 12. And you can see you've got this woman on the front there, and she's saying, "Hello Earth, I've landed safely, no sign of life here." And then there's this, you know, big monster coming in the back. But it really has this Wally Wood feel. He often has this kind of like draping fabric that he draws on women, and this has kind of that feel to it to me. But yeah, Space Adventures number 12 sold for $1,000, so $2.5 thousand. All right. Now the next one here. This was a book that, yeah, during the comic boom, this was a much pricier book than it is today. This is Star Wars number 61 in a 9.8. I mean, pretty cool cover, and it's in a 9.8. It is the direct, not the newsstand for this one. And this one was $150. So $150 for Star Wars number 61 in a 9.8. All right. Now we've got a couple pretty big ones up next. I'm not giving the prices on either of these because these were both private sales. But these are some pretty pricey books. The first one here, you saw me pick this one up recently in a big trade. This is 4-color number 16. This is the first Mickey Mouse comic book. So it says that up there. And just a tough book. This was one that I had picked up a higher grade copy, and I had traded it to someone for their lower grade copy as well as some other books. And so really cool one. I had never owned a copy of this in, you know, the 5 years that I had been back into collecting, and then had 2 of them at once at one point because he sent them to me first, the books to me first to check before I sent him the the other one. So that was cool having 2 of these at once. But a very nice presenting copy. It's got this tape on the spine, and you can see it on the on the back there, but like no pieces missing or anything. Colors are great. I mean, really solid presenting copy of this. A 1.5, 4-color number 16. I mean, this really is, it's one of the biggest Disney books that's out there for Disney collectors. So that one's really cool. Yeah, so 4-color number 16, and this is series 1 because then it goes to series 2 and then the numbering starts again. All right, the next pretty big book as part of this week's sales, and again, this one I'm not giving the price on this one. This is Submariner Comics number 11, and just an incredible cover. This one is this, it's this dragon cover. You've got Submariner saving this woman that's about to be eaten or bit by this dragon. So somebody that I talked to on Instagram had reached out to me, and because I was wondering, I couldn't tell if this guy was, like, what his role was. You know, the guy in the back here, he looks like a villain, but I couldn't tell if he was like helping Submariner. But it was confirmed that he is a villain, and he's like the dragon's tamer. And so yeah, Submariner number 11. In my opinion, the best cover of the Submariner run. But I know I posted about that on Instagram. A number of people had different opinions. Some people agreed, some people disagree. But everybody likes their own thing. But incredible colors on this copy. And a 1.5 off-white pages, Submariner number 11. So yeah, there's the back cover. All right, we got two more graded books left. All right, the first one here This is a title I've talked about a number of times that I think that it's always, I say this, it's always hard to say undervalued, but I feel like it's one that hasn't gotten as much attention yet as it probably deserves. There's a lot of great covers in this title. This Magazine is Haunted number 7. This is a 5.0 off-white to white pages. I mean, the colors just pop on this copy. And like, I'm looking over at this other screen I've got to make sure everything's, not reflecting. And I mean, the colors are just incredible on this copy. And this one was $300. Pretty cool pre-code horror cover. And like I said, colors pop. And the back covers on these, they generally always have this Beware Terror Tales ad. And that always looks really cool too. So front and back covers of this run almost always look pretty great. So definitely recommend checking that one out, that run out, if you're looking for some pre-code horror that maybe hasn't gotten that expensive yet. There are some expensive ones, but maybe hasn't got that expensive yet, and has some pretty cool content. All right, and then the final book sold this week. This is Journey into Unknown Worlds number 26. This is an Atlas pre-code horror book. This is a 5.5. This one sold for $520. So pretty cool, dark cover. I mean, this one is creamed off white pages, but man, like the whites on this one look really, really good. Like the whites on that vampire or whatever creature that is on the front look really good. So 5.5, Journey into Unknown Worlds, number 26 for $520. So that is the last slab that sold. So that was 13 books, 9 graded books, 4 raw. Total sales over $8,000 in sales, so quite a few sales this week. And yeah, some pretty cool books. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, please hit that like button and subscribe button, notification bell, all that kind of stuff, and I'll see you on the next one.